Be the Talk, episode 217, featuring Rena Cook. Welcome to Be the Talk. We go behind the talk 7 days a week for tips and techniques to help you change the world. I'm Nathan Eckel, and a talker myself. I'm interviewing others who change the world with their talk. You can too, even if you've never given a talk before. Let's get started with today's show. We are live with Rena Cook. Rena, are you ready to talk?
I am ready to talk. I'm always ready to talk.
Rena Cook is Professor Emerita, speaker, voice, and speech trainer and presentation coach. Rena is the author of 3 books on voice, including Empower Your Voice for Women in Business, Politics, and Life. Rena Cook, welcome to the talk.
Thank you. It's so great to be here.
Your talk is called Power Without Press, the Foundation of Authentic Communication. And I love what you did. I mean, you turned it into performance art. You come walking on the stage and you've got like the shy version, you've got the super ebullient fake version, and then you come out as the real you. And what a great, powerful way to bring the idea of authentic communication. And then I Talk Universe, I love having other speech coaches on Be the Talk because this is what we do. We're going to pick apart right now all of the things that we hate about great talks that aren't as great as they could have been. Rena, I'm putting words in your mouth. I'm going to turn it over to you, but welcome to the talk. Take us behind the talk.
Well, thank you. It's great to be here. What an amazing experience that was to get an opportunity to do that TEDx talk. It was just, well, it feels like an epitome experience. You know, it feels like a zenith experience. And to kind of distill what you teach, what you believe in, and say, okay, in 17 minutes, I am going to give my best nuggets, right? And you put it together in a way that you've never done it before, because it has to be a new speech that you've never delivered before. And to figure out how to do that in a unique way when it's the stuff that you do all the time. And that was a really wonderful challenge. And it just felt like a really huge thing to do.
Yeah.
Really wonderful.
Well, let's just go right into the whole piece. I mean, authenticity is the real piece. I mean, you either have it or you don't. So, if you're an expert and you believe yourself and you fancy yourself to be the subject matter expert that everybody's talking about, but you can't connect with people and you can't be open and honest even with yourself, that's almost a disqualifier. I mean, you might have peer-reviewed academic journal articles and you might have that whole piece, but in terms of the influence marketplace, if you want to, which includes branded talks, like TED Talks or anything else, if you're going to walk and rub shoulders with real people in the real world and you can't even be connected to yourself, present and transparent and authentic, then you're not going to be able to hold up as an expert in the court of public opinion. I'd love to hear, your assessment of that wordy statement that I just came up with, as well as your thoughts on that, Rena.
Well, you're absolutely right that authenticity is the crucial link between content and delivery and the audience receiving it. And I trained actors my whole life. And what I discovered is that I can teach an actor or now a corporate client what is happening in the body when you are authentic and present. There are things that happen in the body that keep you from being present and authentic. And when you learn what they are and what the techniques are to put in the body that recipe, that formula, then everybody can learn to be more authentic, more present, have more gravitas, and be more available to their audience.
Absolutely. So I love how you're talking about authenticity right now. Now, Talk Universe that are listening to the podcast, you think that I'm being present, but Live Universe that's watching the Facebook Live broadcast, including Rena, as she's talking about being completely present and live, you see me changing the makeup of the screen and doing all kinds of different things at the same time. So I'm a little bit conflicted. Technically, I'm just going to be present. The most present thing that I could do right now, I think, is own up to that. And I mean, what can people do? Here's the question I want to ask Rena. What can people do? I mean, it's so hard for the subject matter expert, right? Because it's like they've been trying to get their way to the talk, and they've been trying to get, past all the other people, and usually it's competitive. And so they come up with different degrees and discoveries, and they publish more, and they event, and they, document, they do all this stuff because, that was the old rules is get, in your silo, become the king of the mountain, the queen of the mountain, right. Get up to the top. And what has happened now, we have this age of, it's not even the age of the internet. Now it's the age of the connected social media, broadcasting internet. Right. It seems like everybody's interviewing everybody else. And all of a sudden you need to be likable as an expert. You need to be able to be connected. You need to be present. You need to be human with other people. When do you think, I mean, this hasn't been on the one level, this has always been super important, but on another level, would you agree with me that something has shifted really in the last maybe 5-10 years? And can you tell me what is at stake for these siloed experts that haven't yet become present? And then what can they do to start getting in touch with themselves? I asked you about 14 questions in one.
And I'll see if I can kind of sort it out.
Yeah,
that's all right.
But that's where I want to go.
Well, authenticity, likability, the ability to be present is blocked by our own tension, by our own lack of self-confidence. And that tension sets itself up in the body and blocks that energy going forward. And it can be career breaking. I mean, people don't lose jobs typically because they don't know how to do their jobs, because they don't know the subject. Most people don't lose jobs for that. They lose jobs or don't get advancements because they don't play well with others. They don't form relationships. They're not present. They're not nice. There's something in their makeup that is not allowing the free exchange of their energy. And I teach a systematic process for breaking down those inner walls so that you are available to authentically share your information. Not everybody has to be extroverted or completely comfortable, showing off and being glib and wonderful in front of an audience. Not everybody is that person, but everybody can be less full of tension. I start my process, number one, by relieving physical tension. Just like a baseball player has to warm up their shoulder before they throw the 90-mile-an-hour fastball, they can't be ready and available to the game unless they move their body around. And I teach a series of almost yoga-like warm-ups that can be done simply in a bathroom stall. I teach my speaking clients that they can warm up in a bathroom stall. I
mean, it was a powerful demonstration, Rena, when you did that during the talk, when you talk about, being in a locked position, a rigid position, and we can hear the voice quality change and become rigid and all of that stuff. So, I mean, everything that Rena's telling us, Talk Universe, you go back to her talk and watch this for a little bit of extra in-depth. What comes after that, Rena?
Well, after we release tension, we find our feet. People who are present, who have gravitas, who are open to other people, are connected to the floor. So even as I'm sitting here in my chair, my feet are flat on the floor and I'm sitting up straight and tall so that I can get a deep breath. Deep central breathing is key to all authentic communication. If my breath gets high and I get a little anxious and I'm talking to you like this, then people are like, oh God, shut her up. Who is she? It makes people nervous when you don't breathe. But if I connect with a lower, deeper breath, my voice gets more authentic and I am more present. Presence has to do with my ability not only to be comfortable in myself, but to be present and take you in and hear and see what it is that you are sending my way. And if I'm not breathing deeply, I can't do that. So after we think about breathing, then we think about long back of neck. It's like attending to alignment. Long back of neck and shoulders relaxed and down, chin parallel to the floor. If the chin goes up, we become cold and unapproachable, and it also makes our sound lacking in warmth. I lengthen here and bring my chin down, and my sound gets warmer. So those are the steps that I take clients through when they warm up to prepare for any kind of communication opportunity, and then as we work and build our skills as speakers.
Now, Talk Universe, if you've had any kind of vocal training or opera training or singing voice training, you're going to recognize some of these themes. And again, if you don't want to take all, voice or opera training, that you want to be able to work on this stuff on your own, really for free, you can watch Rena's TEDx talk, and she demonstrates all of these things, and you can hear what it sounds like as well. Now, we're going to be back in just a moment with more of Rena Cook as we take you into the Blitz Round. People ask, how could I start a 7-day-a-week podcast? It's because of what I've learned from my mentors. Some of the best mentors in history aren't around anymore. They've left hours of one-on-one mentoring behind in their books. Each month at Classics on Tap, I record a new chapter from a classic business book to help you make a difference. Download your first chapter at classicsontap.com. And we're back with the Blitz Round. It is time to ask Rena a series of either-or questions related to the preparation and performance of her recent talk. Rena, are you ready?
I am ready.
Awesome. Well, were you selected to speak or did you apply?
I applied. I made a phone call and they said, well, there really isn't an application process. If you want to come in and talk to us about it, you can. And so I went in and talked to the committee and convinced them that I could deliver a TED Talk, and they signed me up.
Are you a improviser, a memorizer, or a blender?
I'm a blender.
How did that serve you?
It served me really, really well. I write it all out word for word. And then I highlight it, I bullet point it, and then I draw a picture of each bullet point. So I memorize pictures, what I want the audience to see. And then I can talk about my picture. I don't ever have to worry about, oh my God, what's next?
Powerful.
So no, I don't memorize, but I do know exactly what I'm going to say.
Well, so besides that, or even in a little bit more in depth of that, what's a tip, tool, or technique that helps you prepare?
Helps me prepare. I have to practice in front of people. So I brought in small groups of friends, of students, of clients, just to give a trial run. I even had a friend who was in the hospital, and I said, can I do this for you while you're laying in the hospital bed? And
captive audience.
Right.
Now that's a first. Talk Universe. I'm sorry to interrupt Rena, but that's when you know you're dedicated, when you go visit your friends in the hospital. Not just to tell them that you love them, but to force them to help you out as well. Rena, that's brilliant.
Thank you.
That's great.
I'm shameless. And so I probably created 10 practice situations. And each time it was a little different, and you're responding to the specific audience, but it helps you settle in and get comfortable. It helps you perfect your timing. And then the actual preparation before the event is very, very important. And that's keeping your performance anxiety under control. The minute you have that fight or flight adrenaline of performance anxiety, you cannot be fully present, right? You're in a little bit of panic mode. And so you're just getting through. And there's kind of panic behind your eyes as you go, oh God, oh God, oh God. And so you have to keep that under control. And that is deep breathing. Again, it's the deep breathing, slow, deep breathing keeps that chemical response from ever happening in the first place. I prepared 24 hours prior to the event. What I ate, who I was with, how much I slept, the kind of yoga I did before I went to bed, the kind of yoga and vocal warm-up I did when I got up. In other words, I practiced what I teach. And it works. Amazing.
We've been enjoying the Blitz Round with Rena Cook. Her talk is called Power Without Press, the Foundation of Authentic Communication. You can find out more about Rena by going to our show notes page. You can watch that talk. We have a link right there. Or you can type it into YouTube if you want. You can also go to myvocalauthority.com. We will have a link in the show notes page for her website, myvocalauthority.com. And in a moment, we'll be back with Rena Cook for the final word of advice for Talk Universe. Everyone wants to change the world, but not everyone knows the first step. Before you can change the world with your talk, it has to be selected. So grab the templates, timelines, and tools that I use to get my talk selected at BeTheTalk.com. And we're back for the final word of advice from Rena Cook.
Oh, so you're throwing it back to me, huh?
Yeah,
Final word of advice.
That's your cue.
Prepare. You have to prepare. If you think that words of wisdom are going to come out of your mouth by accident, they don't. You can't count on that. And secondly, you have to breathe. Even when your body is saying, I can't, I don't want to, I don't have time, you must deep breathe consistently in order to be on top of your game.
Got to do it, folks. Rena Cook, thank you so much for coming on the talk today and sharing your wisdom with Talk Universe. Thanks for listening to Be The Talk. For tips and resources to help you change the world, go to BeTheTalk.com. See you tomorrow.